Hey, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When CJ and I were trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps that people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use too. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. We use Anchor because we live over an hour away and it brings us together as if we're in the same room. The sound quality is better than Skype and more reliable too. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing so, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join us and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
We will not be held responsible for any hearing impairments or damage caused to you from excessive exposure to this sound.
Hey CJ, remember that one time?
Oh yeah, it was fucking epic.
You're listening to
Remember That One Time,
the Inappropriate Storytime podcast
with CJ,
and Chris.
and these are not your mama's fairy tales. So, since this is our first date with whoever's listening, we're going to do what most bitches do and talk about ourselves and our exes or insecurities. Excited yet?
So stay tuned and don't give up on us just yet. Let us give you a reason to hate us first. Okay. Well, whoever's listening, I'm sorry to begin with. We've got a lot of apologies. Sorry to Mom. First
Why are we
off.
apologizing?
I guess because of the way we live our lives.
Well, yeah, that is generally frowned upon.
Generally, yes. So just a general introduction, who we are, what we're doing here. We tell stories. We've been telling stories, whether true or a little bit embellished, since we were about 10, which is about the time we met, be a little bit earlier. And this is where we are now. We're going to start from now and go to the very beginning, which is, from what I hear, a very good place to start.
The very beginning.
The very beginning.
When the shenanigans started.
The Big Bang.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes. And so I guess I'll go ahead and start. My name is Chris Wells. I am currently 29 and 7/8. I will be 30 coming up in April. We don't want to talk about it.
That was so precise.
It's completely precise. I am, I'm using the name Wells because honestly, my real last name is absolutely terrible. And I was cursed with a German unpronounceable name. So I am using my boyfriend's last name because let's face it, he can't resist me and he's gonna put a ring on it eventually.
Well, it's always good to use like fake names when you're going into something that you could potentially like become a celebrity at. I mean, like
Now that's
you got
the
to think
attitude.
about like your potential fans. Like you don't want to be out in a nice restaurant trying to enjoy your meal and be like bombarded by paparazzi because you have like this amazing syndicated radio show. I mean, nobody sets out to live their life like that.
Yeah, well that's the spirit right there.
Right.
And so that's,
I mean, I'm
story
just
behind
guessing
that.
that's where this is headed.
well, of
you know.
course. Why wouldn't it be?
Of course.
That is where I'm at. No kids, because as you'll learn a little bit later on, they are the scum of the earth, and there will
Woo!
be none of that. But I do have what may as well be a toddler on crack, who's a 1-year-old parrot who makes his life decisions based on whether or not he can shit on it. Is basically either can I eat it or can I shit on it.
I do that too.
That's not necessarily a bird thing, no. All right. So
Yeah.
there's, jobs. I am currently, I'm a desk monkey, honestly. I sit at a desk all day long, and I schedule appointments, or at least try to, and when people get bitchy with me, I take it, quite honestly, because that's what I do. Take it like a bitch. I bend over and they fuck me in the ass with sandpaper condoms daily. But when I get out of there, I get this shit together, play a little bit, talk to nobody, And hopefully later on down the road, I will be DJing some parties, maybe some weddings, who knows. And that's pretty much that. And I don't want to say where I live. That's probably not a good idea because my luck, hippie Jake will be listening to this shit.
Yeah, paparazzi too.
Yeah. I'm more worried about exes. I don't even want to say he's an ex. An ex. I don't even know what to call that.
He was just that. I don't know what to call that either. Honestly, that was just a random, bizarre occurrence that was extremely unfortunate, and it's just really, really lucky that nobody was killed.
Exactly. So that's why we're not going to go into where we are. You can just pretend we're in a closet in Kazakhstan somewhere, or you can pretend that we're in the back of a strip joint, whatever makes your pants tighter. Imagine that.
We're actually in the FBI surveillance van parked right outside your house. So
that is totally my Wi-Fi, not password. What is the word I'm looking for? The my
your
Wi-Fi name. Yeah, network
Yeah.
name. That's it. That is it. Yes, and my lovely co-host here. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I was wondering if you were ever going to get done rambling on about yourself.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so I am CJ Davenport. Again, not my real name. I also don't have any kids, don't plan to. Well, actually, I guess I
What the fuck do you mean, actually?
No, I'm not dropping a bomb on you.
Okay. Okay, because I legit just about choked on my green tea, bitch.
No. I was just going to bring up the fact that I donated my eggs, so I have like a lot of biological fuck faces out there that I don't know, and I don't care to know until they turn 18. Like
until you can drink with them.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just about to say that, literally. Like when you can come have a beer with me, sure, I'll tell you all about how awesome your mother is. But if you're still needing help wiping your butt, I don't want to be any part of that. No, just go away. Yeah, no kids. I got a bunch of fur babies. I got some chickens. We got some rabbits around here.
It's a petting zoo.
Cats and dogs. Yeah, it's just a petting zoo. It's just general mayhem around our house all the time, and that's cool. I like it like that. As far as work, I have done a little bit of everything, and we will definitely get into that later because there are some real great stories there. But actual career, I'm in the dental field. I'm an assistant and a front office manager for a dental office, and I have done modeling on the side. I drive for Uber. I've done, of course, the egg donation thing. Was a songwriter for a little bit. I've done all kinds of stuff for money. You would not believe the things that I have done.
That sounds great.
And, well, again, we'll get into that later. You'll be thrilled to hear about that. So, I'm getting married next year. So there's that. That's a big thing going on right now. Guest list is out of control. So,
what number are you at now?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I think it's over 300, which is a problem because the venue only holds 300. So
I don't even know that many people.
I think we're at like 326. So I'm really hoping like 26 people croak before next May, or just decide that they fucking hate my guts and they're not going to come to the wedding. Something's got to give, because if 326 show up, I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, honestly, think about your previous parties and events, and honestly, I'd say at least
there's a track record.
Yeah, at least a third of those are going to flake, and you're going to be raging at that point because someone has a pet peeve.
That's true. I mean, well, I would generally like to think that more people would show up for my wedding than one of my random house parties that I have every other weekend, because I'm kind of thinking like the people that blow off my house parties are probably like, well, she's gonna have another one in 2 weeks, so I'll just catch her at that one. But
well,
the wedding,
I mean, your track record with weddings, they might catch the next one.
Yeah, I guess. And I mean, knowing me, I'll probably renew my vows like once every 2 years or so.
Yeah.
So there will be more parties. There will always be more parties. as long as I am here and living and conscious.
And
Hell, even if I'm here and not conscious, I mean, I expect there to still be a party.
yeah, you'll just be in the front yard, unconscious,
Yeah,
face first.
yeah. That's generally how I get unconscious, is because it's a direct result of the party.
Yes, usually. And I shall be there spinning tunes.
Mad tunes.
All right.
So yeah, that's me.
And that's where we are at the moment. We'll get into how we got this way, a little bit of our development, and not just our racks, but our mental development and why we're here, how we're here. Nobody knows why we're here. We're going to get into the reason of life and the meaning of life. No, we're not going to do that. We're not Carl Sagan.
Better grab a fork. It's going to get deep up in here.
Exactly. But for now, why don't you take a couple seconds and check out our website, which is completely made by me, which is why it's fucking terrible and why it has a ridiculous website domain. And so listen carefully, kiddies. It is going to be www.chris, that's KRIS 10, M as in Mary, J as in Joy, 87.wix, that's WIX.com / now that may be a backslash, that may be a forward slash. I don't have a clue. Whichever one goes this way, and I know you can't see me, but I'm flailing my arms. Just try one, and if it doesn't take you to my website, try the other. And so that'll be a slash, and then behind that is, well, shit, what is it? I think it would just be, I think it's RT, the numeral 1, T. CJ, do you have your, you know what? I've got my thing up. I'm going to test it real quick. So,
you know, I'm just thinking, like, half of our listeners, well, I say half our listeners, there's like 3 of them. So
yeah,
1.5 people that we're talking to are probably drunk.
And confused.
I'm thinking you're going to have to write this down or make a banner of some sort. You know
what? I'm going to put it on Facebook. How about that? So there will be
sure.
a link to our website on Facebook, and you can find us on Facebook at, that's another good question. See how prepared we are?
Yeah.
So fucking prepared. Oh, you know what? That's because, do we have a Facebook yet? I know that.
I honestly have no idea.
Okay, well, you can search for us maybe, put our name in there, remember that one time, see if that comes up.
Yeah, I think we do have a Facebook. Clearly, we have no idea what we're doing.
No.
We're new to this. We're such newbies. We're
I mean, it's not like I've got a radio broadcasting degree or anything.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'm not seeing it, so probably not. So I'm going to get on that. Probably going to get on that. You know what? I don't, because I was working on our logo, so that's why not. Okay. Well,
just count, if you're listening right now, just count yourself as one of the blessed few that were here at the very beginning.
Exactly.
You know, if you're going to be with us from the ground up.
Precisely. You can be a hipster. You liked us before it was cool to.
Yeah.
And, before we were mainstream, which is
dude,
gonna be
get
never.
on board with this, because we are so not mainstream.
Oh yeah, get on the CJ train.
Yep.
It's a long train.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I promise that we do have social media and we have a website. So once we get those up and running and smooth, and yeah, that'll be a cool thing to check out someday, eventually.
Someday.
All right, well, so how did we get this way? Well, let's see. We can start with graduation.
Graduation. We started getting this way long before graduation.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's cover after graduation to up until our divorces. How about that? Graduation to divorce. A short.
Okay. That's a lot of ground to cover.
Well, I mean, it's only a short, like, what, 7 years? It only took us 7 years from graduation to have a divorce. I mean, most people do that in like 30.
Yeah. So
not us. We're on the fast track.
On top of it, clearly. I mean, We
No.
may not know how to do a podcast, but by God, we know how to knock out our first marriage and divorce real quick.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, do you want to cover that first? Because you had a more exciting college than I did.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what the best story would be. I mean, there's so many to cover such a big span. So I guess the thing that started it all for me was so I was engaged right after high school. I was engaged to this guy, and
High
we
school
broke off
sweethearts.
we broke off the wedding, and then I mean, I just went nuts. I'm talking, I went ham on the
Ham
city
and
of
bacon.
ham and bacon. By God, I took that city by storm. I'll tell you what, I don't even know how I kept my job. I don't even know how I kept my sanity. I just partied for like 8 months straight. I mean, just 4 nights a week. We were hitting the bars and hitting them hard, making our rounds downtown.
Yeah, when you
We
say,
were-
I just want to clarify, when she says our, that does not include me.
No.
This is not my
No.
job.
I was just like, party! I just wanted to do shots and sing karaoke
All day, every day.
all day, every day. Still do.
Yeah,
Still do.
I'm pretty sure you got me to maybe 1, maybe 2 Nashville outings. I did karaoke once. Who was it that... Oh, I think
Mary
it was
Ben
you.
Carpenter.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I remember now.
it was down at the Twist and Shout. Holy shit.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it was you that took a shot out of my cleavage so that I could go home.
Yep. I remember that.
Yep, by the windows at Wild Horse, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was my wild time right there.
Yeah. The
Woo.
one time, that was it. That was pretty much it for you, but yeah, that was...
No.
Anyways, that's pretty much how it all went for about 8 months. I just went hog wild until I found a guy and settled down for a little while, and then we broke up and I went nuts again. So
It's
it's a
pretty much
cycle.
how you react to things.
Yeah. I mean, when I get dumped, I go on these like crazy
Binges.
month long. Yeah, just let's party. Let's go out and have a good time. And
That's so
I mean,
healthy.
it is. I mean, I'm the epitome of health. What are you talking about? I'm the poster child for health. But tell us, what were you doing
In the
during
meantime.
this time?
Yeah, okay. So my wild times consisted of buying a house and getting married and working and being unemployed for a hot minute. I sold Mary Kay because I wanted to act like I was 40 when I was 20 for some reason.
Don't lie. You wanted the pink Cadillac.
I think I just wanted the short "can I talk to your manager" hair in the
Well, that
uniform,
too.
the red jacket, and I had so many pins. So exciting.
MG.
I know. It was great. And it's a cult is what that is.
It is.
It's insane.
Don't ever do it.
Yeah. Any sort of pyramid scheme. And you can tell exactly what a pyramid scheme is going to be when you have somebody come into your house, set up a party, and then take you into another room and basically hold a knife to your throat and is like, hey, you should join us. It'll be so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nothing that has the word scheme in it sounds like a good idea.
Well, of course they don't call it that. They call it something like a business pyramid, or this is my
business model.
yeah, my business model, exactly. I'm trying to become a manager and I only need 7 more people under me so I can get this red jacket and maybe a car. So you should sign up today because this will enrich your life. You only have to spend $500 to begin. Like, if I had $500, do you think I would be going into people's houses and trying to peddle some fucking eyeshadow? No.
No.
Fuck no. I'm doing this. The only reason people sell Mary Kay is because they're broke as fuck and they need some money to buy their drugs. Honestly.
Right. Although I will say, if there is one pyramid scheme that I do mildly support, that would be Sugar and Spice.
Well, yeah,
Or
sex
pure
toys are a
romance,
whole nother
or
thing.
surprise parties, whatever you want to call it. Sex parties. They're sex parties.
There you go.
That's just what it comes down to.
Well, yeah,
We're
that
talking
is a
about
complete
sex. We're
exception.
demonstrating sex, sex toys, sex lubricants, swings, blow up
Poles.
dolls, pocket pussies, whatever.
Yeah.
That I support. I can get behind that.
Well, yeah, that means you don't have to actually, like, get in your car, drive to the 18 and up store, and, like, embarrassingly throw this 9-inch dildo on the countertop and be like, yeah, that's right, that's what I'm doing tonight. These people come into your home, and you can do it without any sort of embarrassment or anything, unless you're CJ and you walk out going, "Bam, look at this dong I just bought. This shit is amazing. Hey, come feel this. It
Yes.
feels like a real dick. Feel this." And then she puts it in your ear, chases you around the apartment. Look, it's got 9 spades. That's how those
I
go.
mean, that one that I raved on and on about, that one was pretty cool. I mean, it had fucking pearls inside of it. Real pearls. Saltwater pearls, y'all.
Out of a
inside
clam. It went out of a clam to
inside.
go into a clam. Boom. Boom.
Right?
That just
I mean,
happened.
That's cool.
It is cool.
That's
That
pretty
is
awesome.
technological advancements.
I
that
mean,
we
you're
can get
talking
behind.
something that came from the bottom of the ocean floor and traveled all the way to your vag.
Once again,
That's a long
something that
journey.
started out wet and went into something else wet. Boom. I can do this
Boom.
all day long.
Right?
Yeah, so
mean-
anyways, pyramid schemes were something I did. Now that we've gone on that tangent. And
Yeah.
my wild days didn't come until after my divorce when I decided to pretty much fuck everything that moved. But that's a whole other thing. We'll get to that later
It was a
on.
noble effort.
It
I applaud
was.
you.
I tried. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
quite get to Jessica's level, but I was close. That'll be another story later. So you got a lot of previews of shit to look forward to. Like, I know it's going to keep you up all night going, how many people did Jessica really fuck? Like, you're not going to be able to sleep, but don't worry. Keep listening. We'll come back.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. You just got to stay tuned.
Yeah.
It'll be good. And then after after high school, I married my high school sweetheart. Unfortunately, I didn't call it off like CJ did, which is what I should have done because he was a complete idiot. Low self-esteem and low standards is something else that I did back then. And I went ahead and married the idiot. And that happened for about 4 years while I did the whole buy a house, white picket fence, and then the whole, you should have a baby starts doing the thing. Because that's the next thing that happens. You get married, you buy a house, you have kids. So we tried and tried and tried, and we did the whole infertility thing because guess what? This bitch can't have babies. So we tried pills, we tried crazy shit, like trying to like stand upside down and do weird shit with his penis and stuff, and I don't know. But finally, exactly. Well, finally on Cinco de Mayo, it took. And so I'm like, I've got this ball in the pit of my stomach, like, oh fuck, I done fucked up. This is legit now. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, look at this shit. Here you go. And so he's all like doubling over in excitement. I'm gonna be a daddy. And I'm, And that lasted for 1 month. And then, miscarriage happened. Best day of my life. If I could have thrown a party, trust me, I would have. It would have probably been a little bit disrespectful and weird. But that's how I was feeling inside. I had maracas going on in my head. And of course he cried like a baby. But that was pretty much the end of our marriage right there. Was he wanted kids. I want to kill kids. Well, I mean, not typically. I mean, that's illegal. But, I'm just not a
Slightly
fan.
frowned upon.
Yeah, slightly. I'm too pretty to go to jail, so I won't be doing that. But the feeling is there. That was the end of that. And I'm pretty sure CJ got married at one point. How did that go?
Oh, Lord. It went bad. That was a bad deal. Bad. It was bad. If I could give our listeners, a little bit of advice, it would be that when you find somebody that you're entertaining the thought of marrying, one of the first questions that you need to ask this person is, are we compatible in the sense that we are both heterosexual? Because if you get somebody that's heterosexual and somebody that's homosexual, and you try to make them be in a relationship like marriage, that ain't gonna work out very good.
No.
Just because of just the whole mechanics of the thing, it just doesn't work. It's like trying to put something round into something square. It doesn't work.
You can rub it together, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, if I had to give you one piece of advice, it would be to ask that question, because that's real important. And you take for granted how important it is until you find yourself in a situation where you're married to a man who likes men and you're not a man.
Causes a problem.
Yeah, so, when he's craving the dong and you don't have a dong, you're craving the dong too. And
there's not enough dong to go around.
Yeah, so this is a problem. So yeah, that's how that turned out for me.
All right, and we'll get deep into that and the many issues that went along with it a little bit later on, so stay tuned.
Deep psychological issues.
For sure. Well, yeah, so that's kind of how we got here. So here's the thing. We are hoping to keep this going for quite some time. So we want to start a segment where we can do one of two things. And I believe in the beginning, we are going to, I would say, invite people to do an interview and tell us one of their favorite stories of themselves. But basically, we're going to coerce them to. Maybe bribe. That'll be fun. So we'll either bribe, coerce, or ask some of our friends to start this segment off. And once we get a little bit of a listener base, we're going to open it up to emails from listeners. If they want to submit their favorite stories, we will read them on the podcast, give you a little shout out, and that'll be fun. The email address that you can send that to will be the numeral 2, the word girls, the numeral 1, terriblepodcast@gmail.com. So that, again, is 2 girls, 1 terriblepodcast@gmail.com. Submit your favorite stories, and we will read them here.
And most likely we will ridicule you. We'll laugh.
Yeah.
We'll make fun of you. We will tell you everything that's wrong about yourself and just basically make you hate us.
Yeah, I mean, no holds barred. I mean, we can laugh at ourselves. I tell CJ all the time how much of a slut she was, and no feelings hurt. It's all done in fun. There's no safe space here at all. There's no room for snowflakes, and CJ can give you a whole rant about that later.
Oh yeah.
Let's start. We're getting to the beginning now. How did this start? We met in what, 5th grade? 4th, 5th?
5th grade.
It was 5th grade.
5th grade.
Was it band or was it the cafeteria? I don't even remember. It's been 10 years. Very well possibly could be when.
I'm pretty sure you were the only one in class that rallied behind me when I beat the shit out of the class clown with that metal thing.
Yeah, that keychain?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, and that was pretty much right after he had stapled his own finger.
Yeah, he was a dumbass. I mean, he had it coming.
Yeah, dumbass. He'd do anything for attention.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much any boy in 5th grade ever.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I mean, it was very effective.
Oh, it was.
Mean, I tell you what, it stopped everything dead in its tracks. I never had any more trouble from him, ever.
Well,
he even showed up to my 21st birthday party with a gift.
Really?
I hadn't seen him in like 10 years. Yeah.
Well, shit, I didn't even know
I haven't
that.
seen him in 10 years. He shows up there with a gift.
What did he want? Was he looking for some action?
Honestly, I think he was on something, like something heavy, like fucking bath salts or something.
Well, maybe he thought you were someone else.
No, dude, because the first thing he said when I answered the door was, "Oh my God, don't hit me, please don't hit me."
Well, you must have left quite an impression in 5th grade, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were there. I think you even got splattered with some of the blood.
Oh, funny. Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5th grade is also when we started band.
Band.
Best thing to ever happen to our lives ever. The only positive thing to ever come out of our lives, basically. The only thing that could hold us together. How about that? Some togetherness. The only thing that could teach us any sort of strict, I guess respect, maybe?
Yeah.
Kind of like the military, like shapes people up. That was our
Oh yeah. It kept us out of some. I mean, we still got in trouble just because we're us, but I mean, it kept us out of bad trouble, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, the
We could have.
band geeks still get into some shit.
Oh yeah, like that whole thing about it's the football players that are all fucking everybody and they're so sexually active and promiscuous. That's all a lie.
They ain't got
Like,
shit on us.
I never knew it. I never knew it until long after high school. Like, this is something I recently discovered at age 28. I mean, that is a complete lie. Like, there are guys that we thought in high school were like fucking everybody that moved, everybody in our class except for us. And turns out they graduated virgins. Like, and I'm not talking one or two, I'm talking like a lot. Cause I mean, I'm my just to give you a little background, my fiance, he went to school with us too, and he was captain of the football team. So naturally we had nothing to do with him in high school.
Nothing.
But him and all of his friends, his quarterback buddies and everything, we were like convinced that all of them, like, there was a big group of them,
they
6
were
or
man
7
whores.
of them. Yeah, like we thought that they were just like sticking their wick in anything, and turns out they were all virgins. Like, me and well, not you, but I mean, I lost it at like 14, and these guys, like, they didn't lose it till like they were 20, and some of them even older than that. So it's like that whole thing about, football players, that's a complete myth, at least at our school, because we got to a point where we weren't even allowed to sit with our boyfriends on the band bus because we had gotten busted having sex so many times.
Oh, yeah. Head in the back of the band bus was rampant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
I mean, I think the reason that our school didn't have, like, drugs and shootings and all... I mean, one, we graduated in a class of, like, 30. And so, I mean, all we had to do was, like, cow tipping and fucking. So that's what we did. I mean, not to be mixed together. I mean, we're not going to fuck cows on top of a car. But we did that separately.
Yeah. That's the extent of the trouble you could get into in a town like the town where we grew up. There just wasn't anything to do except for have sex. I mean, go out and park, find a new place to have sex. I mean, have sex in this field. Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Yeah, they might as well have banned music, because we actually did have a recording studio downtown, which I say downtown, it's Main Street. And that lasted for all of like 2 months before the crazy Christians came out with their pitchforks and was like, "This is the devil's den," and chased him out of town.
But we spent a lot of time in the devil's den. I mean, there for a little while, like, I kept looking for paparazzi. I mean, we were a big thing for a hot minute.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I learned the majority of my audio technical things, that and the drama club. That's fun, and I got to do the PA stuff for pep rallies.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's where I sowed my seeds of radio and AV. Yeah.
I wonder whatever happened to L.A. That was his name, L.A. It was called, the place was called L.A.'s Music Room,
and it was fabulous.
And I mean, he was kind of a borderline creepy dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what were our parents thinking, letting us hang out down there all the time? Well, just me and you and him. Like,
yeah, I don't know. He was kind of rapey, but I mean, he seemed pretty chill. He was very good at what he did. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There is that, but I mean, you know, my dad, he'll talk to anybody and he'll make a friend pretty much instantly. He talks to people at the dump. And so I think that's why I was allowed to, because one, I was like, pretty please, I want to do this for the rest of my life, and I have to be an apprentice now. And so he was like, okay, whatever, shut up, you can do it. And he went to take me there and got to talking with the guy. So I think after he made buddy, he kind of decided in his mind that he wasn't going to rape and murder me. So that's how I spent my weekends.
Yeah, we lived, so,
you know. A lot of our stories are going to end with, but did you die?
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't died yet, so I guess we're doing pretty well. We've come close several times, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, several times.
Like, I mean, as long as we're on the subject of rapey dudes, I mean, there was that one guy that pulled his dick out and in Knoxville and we had to run away from him. That was near death experience for sure.
It sure was. My near-death experience came from one of your internet dates who threatened that if you screamed... See, I can't swim. CJ can hold her own. She's fine, whatever. But this guy straight up told me, if she screams, I'm leaving you alone and you can drown to death and die. And I'm like, okay, cool. This guy's totally worth it.
Yep.
So, we didn't... I say we didn't see him again as if we both dated people, but... Honestly,
well, I mean, we did.
Yeah, during that time that we lived in the apartment in our hometown, we pretty much were interviewing dates because we'd bring them over to the apartment and we'd just kind of give each other these like yes or no faces, which were mostly no faces.
After putting them through a rigorous
test
amount of tests, like all kinds of fucking weird shit that we made these dudes do. The stuff that we put them through, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of it's illegal. Like that thing with the gun, I'm pretty sure we weren't supposed to be doing that.
It's pretty much reserved for the mob, but, you know.
Yeah.
But did you die?
But he almost did.
Well, there's that. So
we'll have to have a whole entire podcast for that story because that's a doozy. That's on up there. That's a good one.
For sure. And so that is our plan, actually, is to take one of our stories and just elaborate the shit out of it and pretty much tell every detail we can. And so this is just our kind of intro. This is who we are. This is what we're about. But next week, I'll tease that in a little bit. Yeah, so we met in 5th grade. We did band. We had boyfriends. Well, CJ had boyfriends. After high school, during high school, kind of that. Oh, no. That was not after high school. I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
We're just telling random stories at this point, and that's okay because I mean, our life is very random.
Yeah,
so.
there's no point to any of this really. Nobody's listening.
It's really just to make somebody laugh. There's somebody out there that is one of those people that just randomly searches podcasts, like obscure non-mainstream podcasts that nobody would ever think to listen to, and there's somebody out there in their living room drinking a strawberry-ta, eating some pink icing straight out of the tub, and
nobody else does that.
Dying laughing right now. I mean, I like to think that that's what's going on somewhere in the world right now.
We thought we were funny.
I mean...
And you know what? Other people have throughout the years. We've made our parents crack up. I mean, Mr. Tilly thought we were fucking hilarious.
Oh my God. He raved about us forever.
I know it.
I mean, it's got to count for something.
Yeah, so let's hope this does something. This is pretty much the end of this. So we're going to say goodbye. And next week, let me take a look at what is coming up next. What should we start with our stories? Something old or something new? What do you want to do?
That is a good question. What about...
Do you want something big like an ex-husband, or do you want something small like getting drunk with Nana crawling through the bushes?
We could tell some drunken stories. You could tell you could tell your drunken story, and I can tell some drunken stories, and you can chime in on them and everything.
Yeah. We can do that.
You can tell them about Nana in Vietnam and all that, and then I can tell them about that time that I got humped with a plastic snowman by my mom's ex-fiance's son, passed out and drunk in his front yard.
So there's
there's that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna do a drunken podcast, and you know what? If you've got anything to drink, I might have a little bit of Fireball stashed somewhere. I can give me some Fireball going. And you know what? The theme is gonna be drunken podcast. So, meh.
Woot.
Nobody says we can't be drunk and podcast. Boom.
Right.
So I mean,
really?
Yeah, that's what everybody does, right?
I guess.
I mean, shit, even the radio show I listened to in the morning was like, doesn't every DJ get drunk and then get on the air? Because that's really the only way you can do this, right?
Right.
Okay, well, that's how I'm going to live my life now. Except that I don't really drink, but give it a shot.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. So that is it. This is the end. We have come to the end. Sayonara. goodbye. Alvita's saying bye-bye. Thanks
So-
for listening.
Are you saying bye to our listener, or are you saying bye to me?
No, I was saying bye to our listeners, but I mean, if you want to leave, that's okay.